Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. I'm James. Let's hope there are no technical glitches this time. If you are in here early, and there are a few, if you wouldn't mind just acknowledging that you can hear me, that would be great. Seems to be all set up perfectly well, which is quite an achievement considering what happened in the last live stream a couple of days ago. Well, yesterday, actually. But I think I've got my hand on the technology here now. So if you're in the room, give us a shout out. Let us know that you can hear me okay. Hi there, Adrian. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And Denise. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes, I've sorted out the microphone and the software. And apparently there have been problems with YouTube and the streaming software over the last couple of days. It's not just me, but there's been a lot of streaming obviously going on, which has overloaded various servers. And it seems like not just YouTube, but Streamlabs, StreamYards, OBTS, whatever the other one's called, and so on. Good day, Jake. Fantastic. Not being a potato. Inconspicuous alien, welcome to you. Sound not being a potato. Good day, Prince Mark. NatGAS looking good. Yeah, so I've got the NatGAS chart on the screen right now. We're long, and we've taken some profit. So this is where we are now. We've got the storage report coming up today. We've also got jobs reports, which may or may not influence the natural gas price, but as the jobs report influences the dollar, and the dollar is the antagonist to the price of natural gas, we could see a bit of movement there too. But so far so good. We've taken some profit, about 20 cents, 25 cents, and looking for this to pop up during the jobs report and storage report later on. All right. Hello there, Rohan Joel. NatGas seems choppy. Yeah, it's always a bit choppy. That's the nature of combustible energy ETFs and futures. Crude oil is up, but it's supposed to go down. Yeah, I'm looking to sell down to 55. We'll get to all of this shortly, folks. I'm not going to repeat everything twice, so I just want to make sure, I'm not being rude, I just want to make sure that everyone gets to hear it, so I don't have to repeat what I've just been saying. Hi there, Omkar. Good morning to you too. And TC, happy trading to you. Good day, Joachim Scott. Spoiling us with all these live streams. I appreciate you being spoiled by the live streams. Yeah, so to be honest, it's actually easier for me to do live streams, as I explained yesterday, rather than having to record a video, edit it. One's always inclined to cut out all the clicks and ums and ahs when you're editing, which takes time. And then it's got to be uploaded and formatted correctly for YouTube. Then it's got to be tagged. It just goes on forever. It's an endless process. And because we don't have many staff, it's much easier for me to do live streams because it's just done. You're here, you get the info, and you can rewind it and have a look at it later on if you want to. But you can get the info firsthand and you can ask questions, and I don't have to do post-production editing, which is the thing that takes most of the time. So it seems to be a bit of a thing that's going on these days, people moving more to live streams than to formal pre-recorded videos with an introduction, middle part, and an ending. A lot of people are going to live streams now, which seems to be the way of the world. Yeah, Adrian, good day to you too. WTI is crazy, but just doing what it is meant to do, really. And although it looks crazy, if you zoom in on WTI, when you zoom out, it looks perfectly acceptable. Absolutely perfect. Trading within the channel since 2023. We've not departed this channel yet for 2 years. We got to the top of the channel, we did not close above it, and we sold at the top, as we have been doing for the last 2, maybe even 3 years actually. So WTI behaving perfectly normally, although with some volatility. And that's what we want as traders. We want these technical structures to hold, but we want the moves approaching those levels to be aggressive and volatile so that we can make some profit. If you don't have a profitable market, you can't make any trade. A volatile market, there are no trades to be made and no profits to be taken from the market. So yeah, it's been volatile. Big, massive move down from the top there after the Moab bomb raid on Iran. But it only went to the top of the channel and to the point or the area or the level that I was looking to sell into. And if you've been following me on YouTube or X or my private group and talking about that, please subscribe right now. If you're here, click the subscribe button. I'll repeat that when everyone's in, when we've actually started in 4 minutes time. And make sure you click the notification bell and give the video a thumbs up too. So yeah, so natural gas, WTI just got right to the top of the range that we were looking to sell into. Posted this in the private group. I put this up all over X and YouTube over the last number of weeks. And I said, if we ever get the chance to move up to that level, we should be looking to sell aggressively. And that's exactly what we did. We've taken all that profit, well, most of it, 75% down at the orange arrow at the bottom here. So that was an excellent trade. And with all trades, I'm not blowing my own trumpet or horn here, but with all trades, there's a lot of luck involved. And if you happen to be, and I just happened to be around at the right time, it was 1 o'clock in the morning, but I managed to get a sell, a short on WTI right at the top. So just lucky that I happened to be awake, lucky that we had the Iran raid, lucky that we got to the top of the channel, to the order block, to my selling area, and lucky that we took the trade with conviction. And the result is a really, really good profit. All right. Good day to you, David Morel. Nice to see you here too. Thank you for visiting. Appreciate it. Omkar, if you come live every day, it brings much confidence in the analysis and your experience view for a young trader like you. Well, I'm pleased about that, Omkar, and I'm glad you're getting some benefit from it. You know, when I was a young trader, many, many decades ago now, 30 years ago, there was no such thing as live trading on YouTube. I have one of the original YouTube videos, by the way, which I recorded in around about 2007, end of 2007. YouTube started in 2006. I had my original video up on YouTube. You were allowed to initially record for 10 seconds in very low sort of definition, suitable for streaming across a dial-up modem. Then it went to 15, then it went to 30 seconds, then 1 minute, then 10 minutes. 10 minutes was a massive leap. And then we've got unlimited streaming on YouTube now. So when I started off trading, there was no such thing. There were a couple of books lying around, which I got hold of readily. There were no real training courses, no mentors. I met one mentor in Australia, luckily, but there were no people teaching the stuff. And there were very few brokers around. And there was very poor charting as well. I had to draw my charts myself, quite often, right at the beginning at least, by hand. I would draw the charts by hand and draw the lines, or at least print them out and draw the lines or something like that. So the world has changed. A lot of people are streaming. And it's a really useful tool to help people get educated and learn and develop. Something that we just didn't have in the past, which is amazing. So welcome to you, Omkar. And Luna, welcome to you too. Witham, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but nevertheless, I'm sure you do. And good day to you, Duncan Glass Watson. Good afternoon. All right, folks, today's not going to be a long session because basically everything's moved in our favor, and you know what my positions are. I will go through them and show you what I've got on crypto, on metals, on stocks, on energies, and a couple of other things. But there's not a lot to go through because what we did yesterday was I showed you all my positions and I haven't changed them since then. So let's go through them for the sake of those who weren't here yesterday. But I will link yesterday's video at the end of this one so that you can have a look at it if you didn't manage to make it there. It is up already on YouTube and you can access yesterday's video right now. So folks, we're going to start right now. It's the top of the hour and welcome to the live stream. I'm James. I'm glad to have you all here. I'm doing a lot more live streams. And in order to support these live streams, I'm just going to ask you to do one thing, and that's just to press the subscribe button right now and press the thumbs up button right now. And thirdly, press the notification bell. When I do these live streams, you will be notified in advance by YouTube if you've entered clicked the notification bell. So if you do all of that, these live streams will improve and continue and get better. I'm sure there's lots of room for improvement. So there we go. All right, so that's all of that. Now let's get started. And I'm going to go straight into the charts. And as I said, there's not a lot to go over because yesterday I covered all the positions that we have open and they haven't really changed. So let me start from the top left-hand side, go through the currencies, then we'll go into stocks, then we'll talk about crypto and metals, then we'll talk about energies and a couple of other things thereafter. So on the euro and the pound, as you can see on my charts, we got long at the green arrows on both of them, and we got out at the red arrows at the top. We have no positions on the euro or the pound. I continue to think, though, that the dollar is going to move lower and that we're heading down towards a target of about 93 at the very least. Let's look at the dollar on the weekly chart. This is the dollar index. Majority of the dollar index is made up by the euro, but there are other contributors to this index too, like the pound, like the Japanese yen, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, and a couple of others. So the dollar index really reflects how strong the dollar is against a basket of other 6 currencies. Maybe it's 7. I think it's 6. So dollar index is moving down. My target is down here at the bottom of the expanding pattern. It's a very, very obvious and clear pattern. It's a megaphone expanding pattern. The target for the megaphone pattern is down here where I've got the blob and this green order block, the lower 200 period Bollinger Band, this thin blue line, and the bottom of the expanding pattern. That's at around about 93, maybe 94, but I think we could get lower than that. And that would have to take us below the 78.6% Fibonacci, the last chance Fibonacci level, if we are going to reverse and go back up on the dollar. And I think we probably will do that temporarily. So we should expect a bounce from here. But if we don't manage to hold there, the last chance Fibonacci, the bottom of the megaphone pattern, the 200 period lower Bollinger Band, the order block, my blob and question mark is just as important. If we don't hold there, we've got to get all the way back down to the bottom here, right back down to this double bottom, tiny little double, actually triple bottom low on the dollar index, down at about 90 to 89. So a weak dollar is what is projected. Not everyone agrees with that. A lot of people are trying to buy dollars here, but not me. Now let's go to the day chart and see where we're moving in the short term, just trying to find some support. Now what we have on the dollar index is a 1 down, 1 up reversal candle at the lower 200 period Bollinger Band on the day chart. So that means we'll probably see a bit of a bounce in the dollar index, at least today, maybe for the rest of this week, maybe into next week. So that looks like it's trying to reverse, which means that the euro will come down, the pound will come down, and I'll be looking to buy both of these on dips when the dollar index turns around and resumes its downtrend. At the same time, I'm also long on the Australian dollar against the US dollar. We've got 2 tranches on here, one from the top of this order block at about 0.64 and one at about 0.6530. We're currently trading at 0.6570 something, 74. So we've got a long on there, nothing on the euro and the pound, looking to buy dips. We've also got a short on the euro yen and the pound yen. Pound yen came back down towards break even. I'll be looking to add to this position on a break and a close back inside this channel. So basically down below that order block, the 50 period moving average, you're already closed beneath the 20, and we want this to break back in here for me to add some more shorts to my existing short position on the pound yen. Target for this is about 2,000 pips. I haven't measured this out accurately, but I have done so on the euro yen. And the euro yen, we have a short position as well, 2 short positions, fully hedged over here, so that position is taken care of. We also have a very small short position from this Fibonacci retracement level at the 0.618 fib. So this is a very small position and it's moved above us. Now what I'm planning to do, and like with the pound yen, I think this is going to move down too. My target for this is at 144. We're trading at 170 now, so it's a long way down. And the target of 144 is equivalent to the length of the flagpole preceding what was a bull flag, a bear flag rather, but it's now no longer a bear flag. So we need a breakdown through here at some point. I do believe as the yen carry trade continues to gradually unwind, that we'll see the same effect, not only against the euro yen, the pound yen, and the dollar yen, but all the major yen crosses, CAD yen, Aussie yen, etc., etc. So that's all the currencies, folks. I put an interesting post up on here, just something for you to put in your pipe and smoke for a little bit. And that is, how many currency trades do you think are made on the basis of looking at a chart? How many currency trades in the world, big trades, big orders, big positions, big movers, how many are made on the basis of the RSI going over 70 or below 30? How many are made on the fact that the jobs report might be a bit stronger or weaker this afternoon? The answer to that is almost none. Most foreign currency transactions take place because of international business deals, international political deals, and wars and movements and all sorts of things that go on behind the scenes where no one looks at a single chart. And that's why you'll find that currency charts are more difficult to trade than, for example, stock trades charts. Everyone looks at the stock chart before they take a trade, even institutions and banks and people that work in those. So it's an interesting concept. If you're struggling with your currency trading and you find that you're migrating more towards maybe stocks, metals, commodities, ETFs, that sort of thing, maybe that's one of the reasons that you can think about. It's definitely more difficult to trade currencies. Right, having said that, let's go on to the stocks. And once again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because we spent a full solid session yesterday talking about all of this, but we're long on the NASDAQ and we're fully hedged on the S&P. Let me have a look at these very, very quickly and just show you my plan here. My plan is that the NASDAQ is probably going to get up to the channel center line. That's this big long green channel that we broke down below. But the plan is to sell, rather to target the blob, the top 200 period Bollinger Band and the channel center line, and possibly even much, much higher than that, up to about 25.5, right up to the top of the channel. So I believe we're in a bull market now, having broken and closed above the twin double top all-time high, and we're now moving higher. I've been bearish on these markets all along until now, and that's fair enough. When you have a 25% or 23% sell-off like we did, it's very, very unusual. It may have only happened twice in the past that we get a full recovery and a fresh new high, which we've done. So I've now switched direction. I've now, obviously some time ago, I hedged my short positions. Those are out of danger, out of risk. And at some stage, I can take profit on the orange trade, which is a long position, hedging these two short positions. I also have another long position from higher up over here. Let's zoom in a little bit and show you where that is. 2 days ago, we got long on the break up through the previous day's candle, and we're still long. We dipped back down a bit the next day, yesterday back up again, and today right back up at the top. First target into that blob, top 200 period Bollinger Band, and so on, probably around about 23,200, and then potentially with a much higher rise up to about 25.5. So that's all on the cards. A big bull market. Are we seeing this market suddenly getting a big move, big wiggle on, big sentiment change? Maybe. I don't know. I'm still skeptical, really, to be honest. But we have to be long because the market's moving up, so we have to go with the price action. But I'm not that convinced. So I haven't committed to a long position on the S&P yet. We have, similar to the NASDAQ, we have 2 short positions and 1 hedge long position. And they're almost on top of each other. So we're just about at break even, really, on the NASDAQ, on the S&P. As soon as we broke higher, I hedged those positions. It's a good idea when you're hedging, if you're hedging, learn how to hedge. That's a good idea to start with. You can take my Swing Trading Blueprint course, links below. But if you learn how to hedge, one of the things that you'll learn straight away is hedge sooner rather than later. So we don't want to be hedging like now, for example, now that we've broken up so much higher above those red short trades. We wouldn't want to be hedging right now with such a massive gap between the long and the short. Hedge as soon as possible. You can always get out of the hedge straight away if you want to, but it's better to be safe than sorry. And you'll always be happy that you protected the downside more aggressively than not protecting it at all. It's better to be more sensitive, more aggressive, more cautious, more conservative when you're hedging. Okay, so we're basically hedged on the S&P, but we're long on the NASDAQ. We've got a new long position to add to the existing long hedge already. Excuse me. It's hard work, all this talking, folks. It really works on the voice. And I've been in meetings the whole day. I seem to be speaking an awful lot. We have nothing on the German 30. And once again, I'll refer to yesterday's video. I think basically we're looking for this sort of pattern. I described this in some detail yesterday. I'm not as bullish on the German 30 as I am on the NASDAQ and the S&P. And one of the reasons is that we haven't broken out of the channel so far. NASDAQ and S&P have broken out above the all-time highs. This one's got to new all-time highs, but we're still within this channel. So along with the NASDAQ and the S&P, we could see a bit of a rally here, but maybe only to the top of the channel. So I'm going to be looking to perhaps sell the German 30 at around about $25,000. That's my plan for a move back down to the channel center line and some of the moving averages, and we'll take it from there. So nothing until we get to the top or down to the bottom. So I'm happy to sell at the top or buy at the bottom. Whichever one we get to first will be the direction of trade that I take next, probably on the German 30. I'm also looking to get long on QBTS. We have missed our entry on that so far. Looking for a dip down to the channel top. Didn't get that. It's bounced up. So far, nothing on that. We also have a long position on MSTR. Massive rally yesterday, reversing what was a massive sell-off the day before. We didn't even start in the right place the day before. We started halfway down the previous candle, crashed down to the bottom, made a shaven bottom candle formation, incredibly bearish. And of course, I was looking to hedge this. But today, very next day, we bounced up, closed above, actually opened above the 20 and the 50 period moving averages, and we're going right back up to where we were. So we've got a long position on MSTR from $363. We're currently trading at $402. So there's a good profit on that trade, although it doesn't look like much, does it? It looks like we've hardly moved from the green. You can't see it because my face is covering it. Looks like we've hardly moved from the green arrow to where we are right now, considering the massive moves that MSTR's had over the last couple of years. That looks like nothing, but it's $40. It's a big trade. And I'm looking for this to move much higher up, as I am with Tesla. I'm a Tesla bull. I got a phone call from the Wall Street Journal yesterday asking for an interview about Tesla, which I granted them. But we'll talk about that another time. I'm not too sure about the motivations of the WSJ when they interviewed me and what they were trying to achieve, and what they were saying about Tesla, Elon Musk, Donald Trump was all a little bit hit piecey, I have to say. But I explained why I'm long on Tesla, why I believe in this company, why I think it's a tech company, why I think it's got enormous prospects, why I think we could go to $1,000 a share. We're trading at 300 now. And we had quite a long half-an-hour lengthy chat, me and the Wall Street Journal. I was very honored to be called by the Wall Street Journal. I've never been called by them before. And I was very honored to have a chat with one of their senior financial editors, and a fairly decent chat, I thought it was, even though I think the motive might have been slightly untoward. But I think I gave a good explanation of my reasons, and maybe that article or interview or whatever it is comes out today or sometime this week. I don't know. Or maybe because I didn't slate Tesla and Elon Musk, maybe the article just won't come out at all. All right, so that's it on stocks. I'm looking to get long on ARK-K and NVIDIA. Once again, these have bounced up along with ARK-K and some of these other ones, along with Tesla and MSTR. ARK-K has a lot of Tesla, MSTR, NVIDIA, that sort of stock in it. So it's bounced along with those. I'd like to get long on that, perhaps closer to the 20-period moving average. Same on NVIDIA. There are a couple of other names which I'll look at next week. Remember, folks, it's Independence Day tomorrow, so it's a shortened, or for some, a non-trading day. So I'm not going to be doing a live stream. Markets will be thin. Markets will be quiet. Don't commit to any big positions right now. It's not worth it. We don't know what the weekend will hold. We don't know what political stuff will go on and what wars may or may not be escalated or resolved. No, we just don't know. And it's a long weekend, and markets will be thin tomorrow. And Monday will be sort of a hangover from the weekend. So don't get into any big trades right now. Hold on to what you got. Let's look at Bitcoin and gold and metals. We'll get to NATGAS shortly, I promise. Ethereum and Bitcoin, XRP, long on all three, and literally have done nothing since yesterday. On a Bitcoin, which drives the whole lot of them, we've now got a new higher low and a higher high. I drew those little red bits in there just to illustrate that. For the first time in a very long time, we've got a higher low and a higher high, and that's a bullish formation. We should see Bitcoin marching on. My target, someone said to me on Bitcoin, I'm delusional or in a massive loss on Bitcoin, because I said on X that I think we're going to $146,000 and then 164. I stand by that. This person on X, who was pretty rude to me, said I'm delusional, or I'm obviously holding a massive loss on Bitcoin, and I'm thinking it'll go much higher to cover my loss. I don't know how he thinks that's possible, because we're at almost the all-time high. So it's not possible, technically, for me to be in a big loss. Au contraire, in fact, I'm in a massive profit on Bitcoin. My first longs on this recent run-up were taken down here in the low 70s. Low 70s. And most of my recent tranches have been added on at around about 100,000. We're trading at 110 now. So I've got very good profits on Bitcoin. I'm not trying to catch up or rescue a losing trade. It's not possible to have a losing trade on Bitcoin because it's almost at all-time highs. So that was a lot of nonsense. We're long on XRP. All of these looking fantastic. No point in sort of going into them. Targets much, much higher. I don't even have any targets for XRP and Ethereum. But let's just go with double where we are right now. So $5,000 for Ethereum, $5 for XRP, Bitcoin 140 to 160, something like that. On gold, we went long on gold 2 days ago. We've been short the entire time. We've taken all of our profits on our shorts now. Last tranche was down there at the orange arrow, and we've now gone long. And we've broken above the 200 period moving average. We've also broken above the 20 period moving average. So the long-term moving average, the long-term trend is up now, and the 20 period moving average. So the short-term trend is also up. We're also above the trend line, having faked out a number of traders, no doubt, put a few people short, stopped out a few long hands. That's what the market did. It's its job. That's what the market does. So, but it gave its position away pretty easily. For those who are canny and know their candlestick patterns, you'll have seen that fake out was immediately reversed by a piercing pattern candle, which is a bullish candle pattern reversal. That single candle gave it away. And the market can do things to you, can fake you out, it can hide things, it can create chaos, but it can't hide everything. And it couldn't hide that candle, and we got long on the breakout through the channel top, basically. And above the 200 period moving average, right there. So we're long on gold now. My target for gold is around $4,000, probably 4,200. That's just a fib extension level. But if we get above 3,500, the recent all-time high, we're into blue sky territory, so we don't know. At the same time, we've been short on gold. We're now long on gold, but at the same time we've been short on gold, the whole time we've been long on silver. We got long on silver about $31, a bit more at about $36. We're currently trading at close to $37. My target for silver, $50. You know, I said $50 about a year ago. Actually, it's quite interesting. We're trading at $36 already. When we were trading in the 20s a year ago or so, let's go back a year, somewhere in this region down here, bouncing off the trend line. Maybe was that a year ago? No, a little bit further back. Anyway, in the low, sort of mid to low 20s or mid 20s, and I was saying we could go to $50 on silver. It's been there before, only once, and everyone said I was, just ridiculous. When we broke up through the squeezed top here, this ascending triangle, despite the clear out with the Liberation Day, ignore that. But we've got a rising channel, flat top breakout. The target for this is equivalent to the rise from $22 up to $34. $22 target. Add that on to $34, takes us to $56. That's my target for silver, and I'm standing by that one too, as long as as well as my outrageous target claims for Bitcoin. And then copper, I've got another outrageous claim for. Copper has now broken out and closed above its had the highest monthly close in history when we closed above $5 or thereabouts. And I think copper could double. It's cheap. It's very much in demand. Spoke about this yesterday too, and it's used in just about everything. And I think we're seeing an upsurge in all of the sort of industries that copper is pretty much essential for, and I think copper will surge. So I'm going to give a copper prediction as well, and I'm going to say we could, at a stretch, double the price of copper. Remember, the highest monthly close ever has been $5. We've achieved that now. Could we get to $10? It's outlandish, ridiculous, crazy, I know, but why not? Of course, I'm not going to hold copper to get to $10. Let's go into energies, but that could be the ultimate target. Right, now let's talk about energies. Uranium and UEC. We're looking for uranium to dip back down to support. and I'll refer you to yesterday's video. Once again, my target for this dip, I'm not going to be selling, I'm going to be buying. We've been long all the way from 22, we got out at just under 40, and I want to rebuy back down into around about 28 to 32. In this region here, the Fibonacci golden pocket, the previous support and resistance line, a close of the gap in the center of the chart here. It's got to be closed probably at some stage, and the 200 period moving average, and this trend line that I've got drawn in here. That's my target for URA to get long. And if we don't quite get down as far as that and bounce before that, I'll be getting long in advance anyway. And then UEC, we've got a position from right down here at $4.60 something. We've got another position at $6.46. This is also a uranium play, folks, both of them, URA, UEC, just different instruments and different composition. But we've got really good profits on this one too. We've taken profits on URA, but not on this one. We've got a rising, ascending triangle here, and I think we could break out through the top. I'm holding my long positions. I've not changed them. Targets for this right back up to the top again at about $9. We're currently trading at $6.70. So a fair sort of path to go back to the top. But of course, I'm aiming for much, much higher than that. And I think uranium as well could double in price. So all sorts of interesting stuff. And if you say, well, uranium, there's no way uranium can double in price. These are not massive volume products, folks. And there's not a lot of uranium that goes around the markets. And so it could easily double in price. Right. Natural gas. If you were in yesterday's live stream, you will have seen what we were up to. And let me recap very quickly. We got short at the top here. We've basically just got a channel here, folks. And it's a bearish channel. But we're long now. We're long from the bottom of the channel. And I'll show you why, what's going on. But there's the channel. There's another channel trend line that we've broken out, the sharp, steep black line. Let's zoom in. This is a 4-hour chart. So we broke above that channel line. And let me just recap, start where we were back in. So we got short at the top of the channel. We took some profit there. We took some profit there at this red sort of pink order block. We also then reversed there and got long, and we got out on Friday at the 100 period moving average and this order block at the top. Very, very simple. Sold at the channel top, out at the basically at the order block bottom and this support level right down here. We sold, got out at the 20 period moving average, 100 period moving average before the weekend, and then we sold off after the weekend. When we got to the bottom of the channel, rinse and repeat, we bought, we added some more as we moved up, so we added to our winning position. We've taken some of that off now here, just under the 50 period moving average, the 200, and the top of this order block zone that I've got drawn in. So we have half of our long position still on natural gas, and the stop loss is now at break even. We've got a long weekend coming up. Market's going to be thin. We don't know what's going to happen around the world. I'd rather be out of the markets this weekend for all of those reasons. My stop loss is at break even. And if we should get a sudden quick pump up to about 375 before the weekend begins, in other words, probably after the storage report, we got a sudden spike up to 375. That's where I'll take my profit or hedge ahead of the weekend. I might even just hedge the trade rather than taking profit. I don't know. I'll decide at that point. But that's my general plan for natural gas before the weekend. And then I'll come back on Monday and revisit it and see where we're going. So the plan is to hold on to my current long position from down here at the channel bottom, stop losses at break even, hoping for a pump up after or before the storage report or towards the end of play today, to exit close to 375 and wait for the weekend. And when I say exit, I may exit with a hedge or I may just take profit. Not too sure at this point, but I'll decide if and when we get there. Excuse me, one more sip of juice. This is Red Bull, a new flavor. It's quite nice. Juneberry. It's quite a good flavor. So that leaves us with WTI oil. And folks were saying, well, we were talking about it earlier today at the beginning of the session. WTI, and people were saying that this is just wild. It's a crazy market. Not really. This is a channel that we've been trading in for over 2 years now. We've been selling the top of the channel. I explained this at the beginning of the session before it started. And for those of you in my private group and who are following me on X occasionally when I post these things up there, which is quite often actually, if you're not following me on X, go and do that now. So I put up about, I don't know, 5 or 6 posts a day explaining what I'm doing, ad hoc really. Excuse me. But really what we did, we just got back to the top of the channel and we sold. I mean, this is literally rinse and repeat. I've said so many times, if we get to the top of this channel, and I hope we get to the top of the channel, I want to sell at the top of the channel. I want to really get into the market there. I've said it so many times. I said we might stop at Moab, but if we break up through Moab, which we did, mother of all breaks, the big support and resistance dividing line between a bullish and a bearish scenario right now. So I didn't think we'd get up there, but the not Liberation Day, the strikes on the enriched uranium facilities in Iran forced this move up. And then Trump got on the blower and said, don't overprice the oil. Don't buy oil. And everyone just suddenly listened to him for some reason. And the market crashed right back down again. So we got short at the top, 1 o'clock in the morning my time. Luckily, I was able to get in, not quite at the top on the first occasion, but we got in on the second event. And we got out at the bottom here at the market structure break, my blob, 50 period moving average, and a big order block down here. And basically just a good support level. So that's where we are. Now, we took profit here. We took 75% of our short profit. So our highest entry was at 76, and our exit, 75% of all of our trades, we got out at 63. So we got a $13 profit on that move down, but I'm holding on to 25% of that position, and I'm looking to add on rallies up into Moab, where we are now. So it could be today, or it could be on Monday, something like that. But and we don't have any reversal. This is the day chart. I'm going to go to the 4-hour chart shortly. So we don't have a reversal just yet. But I'm looking to sell right where we are, all the way up to about $70, up to the red line just above us. So we're in the zone now where I'm looking to sell more WTI oil. And I'm looking for this to move down back to $55, the bottom of this channel, and then eventually a breakdown below this channel and that double bottom spike low down to lower levels, probably closer to 50. And when we get to 50, that's pretty cheap. And I don't know for how long or if we can sustain levels at that sort of price. I don't know, maybe. But I think we'll see some demand coming back in, and particularly if we see industrial demand increasing like we've seen aligned with natural gas. So yeah, we're still short, looking to add some more all the way up to 70. I've only got 25% of my position left. Stops are at break even on natural gas and WTI. Someone was asking about the Rand earlier today. Why is the Rand so strong? Well, it's strong, I think, because of a couple of things, probably 3 things. Probably manipulation often happens on this currency. Second thing is the price of precious metals, including the palladium group metals, has gone up dramatically, and that will improve the condition of the Rand. And is that all? And generally a weaker US dollar, which is what this is trading against on this chart. So a weaker US dollar, stronger metals, and perhaps and probably some form of manipulation driving this chart down, which means a stronger Rand. We took a long position over there at the 200 period moving average and another one down here at the support level, but we're just dribbling down still a little bit more. These are not massive positions. I still have plenty of space to add, but the strength in the Rand has just surprised me, and I'm not too sure why, especially considering the political turmoil that's going on in this country and the continued economic degradation and decline, and the state of our facilities and infrastructure collapsing bit by bit, visibly every single day, including things like streetlights, lines on the roads. There are none in my town. There are no streetlights. For example, and that's just a little thing. I'm not even going to talk about the post office and South African Airlines and the harbors and the railways and the roads and everything else, and the theft and everything that's going on. But considering all of that, the Rand should not be powering up. In other words, this chart moving down so dramatically. But part of it is because of a little bit of optimism from metals prices and so on, and some manipulation, no doubt, and the general weakness of the US dollar. We're also still long on TLT. I keep on thinking that this is going to burst up through every time I think that. It doesn't. It dribbled back down again yesterday, but popping up again today. So I don't know. I think we got a good short squeeze possibility here on TLT, and we are getting squished into this corner, and I think it's got to break out, right? It's got to get out of this corner. It's getting trapped. It's stuck. It's only got a little bit of space to go until about September before that corner comes to an end. It's got to break out either to the top or to the bottom. I suspect it'll break out through the top. Not only technically because it's a falling wedge, type of pattern, but also fundamentally, I think we've got to find some strength in treasuries, even if it's optimistically short-lived. I don't know. Anyway, I'm holding on to that. We're above break-even. We've got some profit on that trade. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Right, on sugar. Now, everyone was saying they're getting, and I saw some people getting short on sugar today. And please don't do that. Please don't get short on sugar, even though we've broken down through that channel. I believe this is a fake break. One push down, hesitation underneath, massive move up today again, back inside the channel. Look at what we've got here, a perfect tweezer bottom candle with a bullish engulfing, smashing its way back up into the channel. Let's zoom out a bit. That's definitely at least an attempt at a very good attempt at a reversal. And my targets for sugar are much, much higher. This is being affected a little bit by the oil price. And as the oil price has been rather difficult to gauge, if you're not a bear, as I am, it's been pretty easy to gauge. But the oil price has come down along with the sugar price has come down along with the oil price. So there is a unique relationship between ethanol, sugar, and energy and oil and natural gas, all to some extent in the same boat. So that's sugar. We're still long on sugar, and I will add some more to this long position if we get a chance. Probably not today, probably on Monday. This market will be closed tomorrow. So on Monday, if we hold this sort of level today, I'll add a new fresh long tranche to sugar. Looking for targets much higher up. I'll get to those in the next live stream. Cocoa, we're still short on. No changes to that, just a short position there. Looking for this to move down and eventually break down through the bottom of the channel into much lower levels. That's already on there, no changes. And then coffee, same sort of thing, although we've now taken profit. And I think we could bounce back up into the channel on this. I'm not prepared to buy coffee, although maybe I could. But, we've got a long weekend coming up. I don't want to be faffing around with a long on coffee and a short on this and whatever. Trading all this stuff over a very thinly traded long weekend, Independence Day, big holiday in the US, massive holiday. People are not really interested in trading over Independence Day weekend. So thin markets, choppy, messy. But yeah, I think we could get a bounce on coffee back to the channel center line at about 325, potentially even to the channel top at about 350. And I'll be looking to resell coffee. We have no trades on that just yet. And then corn bouncing up again. Corn just boring. We have a long position you can see on the page there. Not very exciting. Soybeans are looking for this to move along in this channel, eventually get to the top again. We're almost there actually. I'll be looking to sell soya at that black line the next time we get there for a move back down to the bottom. Eventually I think we could break down through this bear flag and move lower on soya. Or if we break up above that line and don't hold beneath it, I'll be looking to buy soya. So pretty simple. Got a nice technical structure here to work from, so there's no real stress. So either it's something like that, up through the line, back down to the top, breakout, pull back, and off we go. That's soya. That's path number one. And path number two for soya is a move up to the top of the channel and a rejection and a move down to the bottom, a bounce up there, and then a continuation down. So that's path number two. I don't know which one's going to happen, but we'll know soon enough, because when we get to that channel, top line, the market will do one of these two things, and it will telegraph that in advance. So we'll be able to see what happens, watch the candles, and it'll tell us when it's time to reverse. And it'll tell us whether it's going to reverse, actually, or whether it's going to carry on moving higher. So those are the two potential paths on soya. I'm looking forward to a trade on that one. We haven't been in soybeans for quite some time. Now, wheat, did we just talk about wheat? No, we didn't. Wheat has had a massive bounce, another falling wedge pattern, and I expect a massive short squeeze. Look at all these swing highs, spikes to the left-hand side, starting at about 620, and then 720, and then I think 780. Those are all my targets, those swing highs, very, very simple. You can draw a black line horizontally across at those levels if you want to. And I expect the next move will be a breakout through this top. That breakout there has already damaged, weakened, nullified almost that channel line. Not quite yet, trend line rather. Not quite yet, but it's certainly done some severe damage. So on this approach to it, we now have a chance of breaking up and holding above that line. And then I'll be looking to add some more longs to my position. I have one long position from right here at $643. Sorry, 543, not dollars, cents, and we're trading at 565. So yeah, we've got some profit on that, but I think we could get a bit more size on this once we break up through that line. Let me draw that one in for you too. And then something like this, maybe even up to that double top. That would be interesting. Probably a collapse back down, and then something like that. So maybe quite messy, you know, in this next period. We've got a channel line rising, a trend line rising up underneath as well. So, you know, maybe we might have to sort of bounce around like that. I'm just making this up as I go along, pulling it right out of my you-know-what. But something like that for wheat could be messy, or we might just break up straight through the top and go gangbusters higher, in which case we've already got a long position, and I'll add another one on a breakout pullback. All right, and then orange juice, we have no positions. That's moving down much, much lower than and faster, but we may consider buying orange juice down here at the bottom here, but not today, probably next week. Maybe a double bottom bounce, back up into the channel, all the way back up to 320 to form a range similar to what we're seeing on soya, the sideways bear flag range. So we're trading basically from the current level where we are now to, which is at 210 up to about 300. And I think we'll be in that range. I'll look to try and buy this bottom and sell the top, but we haven't got there yet, and I don't want to take trades today ahead of the long weekend. Cotton, we're also long, one of my favorites as well. Taking its merry time. We've been long since March. We're now in July. So, you know, there are holding costs involved in all of these. And when they take so long, it's just dribbles along sideways. You're obviously paying carry costs overnight, especially if you're trading ETFs. So it's annoying, but I think at some point we'll get a big lift off there as well. And then we've talked about soya, we've talked about sugar, cocoa, we've talked about, and that's all the softs and grains. And then folks, tomorrow there won't be a live stream because I won't be here. I'm going to Plettenberg Bay for the Bitcoin Wedge Classic surfing competition. I'm not competing, but I'll be there and supporting the Bitcoin bros and having a good time in Plettenberg Bay. So there won't be a live stream, but for those of you in my private group, I will always have my devices. I will never go anywhere without my devices. So if you're following me in my private group, I've always got my stuff with me, and I'll always let you know when I get into a trade, adjust a trade, or get out of a trade. I will never not let you know. So if you'd like to join my private group, please do so. I'd love to have you in there. There are only 112 people in my private group, and that's kind of the way it stays. It's pretty intimate, and we have a really, I think, great time, really, and it's really profitable as well. Really profitable. Many of my traders in the private group have not experienced profitable trading in the past, and they are now profitable and doing pretty well. Some of them doing really, really well. So I'm pleased about that. And that's my job, to try and help traders get through the funk, past the losing point, and into a confident, winning state of trading bliss. And that's what we want. So that's it, folks. Now, what I'm going to do is quickly go through these questions and then try and finish off. I hope the sound is okay. Is the sound stuttering and stammering and gurgling like it was yesterday? Is the image breaking up, or is it clear? And can we carry on for a little bit longer, or do we have to stop? Let me know in the chat. So let me say hello to a few people. One of the things I've learned through through these live streams is that when folks come into these streams and they post something up and they don't get an answer, they probably won't come back to the stream, because it's important what they're asking. They want to be recognized. Sometimes it's an important question, and just for someone to say hello to them and say, yeah, thanks for being here. So I try and do that with everyone, and I'm not even sure where I got to, but I think I got to David Morel. Good day to you, David. And Omkar and Luna, we talked about some of your questions. And Somnath, good day to you. Unpronounceable acrylic lettering, nice to see you too. Maybe it's Greek. Hello, nice consistency in the live sessions. Yeah, so I think consistency in the live sessions is also important. So you know, like every day, there's a live stream, and then you can come and get your ideas, trade setups, and see what's going on, have a chat. But, you know, it's difficult for me to do it every single day. It's exhausting. It takes time. And sometimes I'm not too sure how many people actually want to be part of these live streams. But it seems like it's pretty popular. Good day, Martin Wolfbauer. You're late tonight. You can get a half pass. Okay. All right. Good day, Emily Trading. Emily says, hello, legends. Thank you, Emily. Yes, we are all legends. Joy Deep, hello to you. Good afternoon from India. Also a little late. What's with you latecomers today? Robson Jr., good afternoon to you too. You wonder when and where to go to open short positions on cocoa and coffee. All right, we spoke about that, Robson. Please type up again if your question was adequately answered by my coverage of coffee and cocoa. If not, if there's anything you'd like to follow up with, please type that up right now before I get to the end as I'm reading through. Good day to you, Marcin. A lot of US data in 15 minutes. Yeah, we've already had that. Let's quickly look at the charts while I'm going through the questions. We did get all the data. Let's see what the jobs data did. Let's have a look. Let's think about jobs. Okay, markets moving up. S&P, NASDAQ, German 30, all moving up. Some of these names, QBTS, up by $1 and a bit, $1.50. Nvidia, up $1 and a bit. ARK-K, $1 and a bit up. Tesla, a couple of dollars up. MSTR, a little bit down, actually, interestingly. And the NASDAQ and the S&P up. Let's have a look at gold and crypto. Crypto down a bit. XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, all moving down with those data. And then gold and silver and copper all moving down. So we've got to have a look at that data. I'm going to look at that straight away and get into my private group and see where we're going from here. Folks, let me just finish off with these questions. I've got to get to my group. All right. Orange juice. Yeah, so Kato Sodza, hello, your question is, can you see the orange juice chart? Orange juice. Yeah, we had a look at the orange juice chart, I think. I'm sure we did. I don't know if I just skimmed through it, though, but let me just put the chart up for you. Yeah, so we talked about this in some length, yeah. So I'm looking to maybe get long here on Monday, and then for a ride back up to the top here at about 322, and then probably short again for a breakdown below the bottom eventually. But I don't know. We'll see how this all looks on Monday. I'm not going to get into any commodities trades over this weekend, any further additional trades, I don't think. Gold falling hard. Yes, it is. We're going to look at that when I get into my group right now. Paul Atterboy, demand destruction on copper starting at about 12 kilos ton. Kilos per 12 kiloton? 12 kilos per ton. Rohan, are you short on natural gas then for the day? No, I'm not. I'm long on natural gas, Rohan. I'm long on natural gas. News, gold falling hard. What I think about orange juice. Unemployment data was positive. Let's quickly look at the news, folks, while I'm here. And I'm going to quickly just open up my... At risk of making the stream go weird because of resource usage, but I'm opening it up. Let's have a look at what happened. I can't put it up on the screen, unfortunately, but let's have a look. Average hourly earnings down a bit. Weekly hours down a bit. Non-farm payrolls for June. 147,000. Okay, yeah, I didn't realize there was non-farm payrolls today. My bad. Okay, 147,000 jobs added in June. Okay, it's a decent number. It's not the best number. It's a decent number. Jobless claims. So we got jobless and NFP on the same day because of the holiday tomorrow. Jobless claims 233, down a bit, better than expected. So NFP better than expected. Jobless claims better than expected. Manufacturing payrolls down. That's important. So not good news on the manufacturing payrolls, down by 7,000 jobs. Continuing jobless claims, no change really. Unemployment rate down a bit, down to 4.1%. Expected was 4.3, previously 4.2. So all the jobs numbers looking really good. And then let's carry on. Unemployment, non-farm payrolls, private down quite a lot. Private sector down a lot on the NFP compared to projected number. 105 expected, only 74. And then average hourly. And then a little bit later on, in 1 hour's time, we got the S&P Global Composite PMI expected to be about on track. And then there's a load of other stuff. Got the ISM coming in, factory orders, Fed speaking later on, etc., etc. So it could be a bit of a rough ride, folks. And I don't know how this is all going to pan out. Let's quickly look at what we've got going. A euro coming down, pound coming down, pound yen, big rally up on that one, as with the euro yen. Going to have to address those two. Aussie coming down. So dollar strength. As I said, I expect the dollar will bounce here after that one up, one down. Reversal candle on the dollar index. We spoke about it right at the beginning of the session. If you remember, look at this dollar index at the 200 period Bollinger Band. One down, one up candle reversal pattern. It's a 2-candle reversal candle pattern. And it's worked perfectly. We could have taken some profit on our Aussie dollar trade, but it's not really worth it for me at this point, so I'm holding on to that one. But that's a reversal pattern at the lower 200 period Bollinger Band. And as a result, not because of the pattern, but the pattern forecast what the dollar was going to do, which was rally. And that's what it's done. So as the dollar has rallied, stocks have come in a little bit, not by much actually, looking pretty firm still, no big collapse, nothing like that, so that's okay. And some of these names still up a bit, actually, NVIDIA, ARK, Tesla, just a little bit down on MSTR. Let's go across to cryptos and metals. Now, we don't want these to collapse. We want Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP, gold, silver, and copper all to hold their levels today. Remember, it's a long weekend, Independence Day tomorrow, thin markets and political drama still potentially about to unfold at any moment's notice. So gold is coming in, silver is coming in, maybe gold's actually going to be a short. We may have to hedge this one. I've been short on gold for a long time. I don't want to be long on gold when the market eventually breaks down. My targets, as you might know, are down closer to $3,000, initially 3,120 and then 3,000. Could we get to 3,120? Is this a reversal? Let's see how the markets hold today. We really need gold to hold that corner, that apex. This can't be any clearer, really, folks. It's the confluence, the apex of these two trend lines, the 50-period moving average, and this 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level. If that doesn't hold right now, at this level, today, right now, this is probably going lower. So, yeah. Sometimes the market or the charts give you a really, really clear picture, and that's what we have on gold. So, folks, I'm going to finish off the questions. I'm going to get to my private group, folks. I hope you've enjoyed the session. Hope you're going to be good with today's trading, and please don't panic. If you've got any problems, you know where to get hold of me in my private group. Come and join us there. And if you can't, if you don't want to, can't afford it, don't think it's worth it, think I'm rubbish, whatever you want, whatever you think, that's okay. But if you do need tips and you're not prepared to pay for them and you don't want to get that sort of education, you feel that you've got enough of it, just go across to X. And if you're in trouble or in panic, you can always message me there. I may not always reply to private messages, but I may reply on occasion. And of course, you can always message me in public on X too. So for the sake of your pride or the sake of $100 or $60 if you get the discount, don't lose your trading account. And I'm going to say that, and I've been saying it every day this week in the live streams. For the sake of saving $50 or $100, don't blow your trading account. Had someone emailing me this morning, literally this morning, who has just lost $160,000 trading natural gas and has now decided to join my private trading group. I don't know what to say to that. I just don't know what to say. So, yeah. $160,000. You could have sent me 100,000 of those dollars, saved yourself another 60, and made profit from that. It's horrible. It's not good. So don't lose your money. Don't be mad. Don't be silly. Either don't trade or learn how to do it properly. Okay? That's my advice for you, and that's what I'm leaving you with today. Have a great trading day, and I'll see you very, very soon. Not tomorrow, though. Probably Monday, and I might actually do a live stream on Sunday night, depending on where I am. If I'm back home at the office, or if I'm still in Plettenberg Bay, I might even do a video from there. Take care, speak soon, and enjoy the weekend. For those of you in America, happy Independence Day, 4th of July.